Hey friends, today's reading is all about what unexpected blessings are bringing you abundance next. Maybe it's money, maybe it's a career breakthrough, maybe it's something you don't even see coming yet. There's a surprise that can shift everything for you. Spirit has a way of bringing in blessings where you least expect them, and that's what we're going to uncover today. If you are new to Pick a Card readings, here's how it works. The first thing that you're going to do here is you are going to pick the pile or the crystal that you are the most intuitively drawn to. So we have pile 1 here with rose quartz, we have pile 2 here with clear quartz, we have pile 3 here with amethyst, and then we have pile 4 here with rhodonite. Now you can choose one pile, you can choose more than one pile, or you can choose all of them. It is totally up to you. But when you're ready, go to the description of this video, find the timestamp that is linked to your pile, and then you can skip ahead to your reading. Thank you so much for letting me read for you, friends. It is always such an honor and a privilege, and I will see you on the inside. Hey pile 1, hi friends. Welcome to your reading. So let's first talk about what blessing is coming in unexpectedly, what energy, gift, or shift is arriving for you. So we have the Page of Cups. So with this, I feel like your blessing is going to be a new beginning in the emotional, intuitive. I feel like this is signaling a very sweet surprise, pile 1. An unexpected opportunity that comes in lightheartedly, almost playfully, but carries some profound potential. So think of it as the universe whispering, be open, right? Be open to a delightful surprise. So for example, maybe some of you here will receive an unexpected invitation to collaborate on a small project and it blossoms into something bigger than you can imagine. Or maybe some of you here have a creative hobby that you've been exploring casually, like sketching or cooking or writing, or hey, even maybe posting on YouTube, right? And maybe this suddenly attracts attention from other people who want to support you, right? Or who want to buy from you. Sorry for the snoring in the background. That's my dog, Milo. He is so cute. Okay, maybe some of you here meet someone new who opens your heart in a very innocent, refreshing way, right? Like maybe a friend or a mentor or a romantic connection. And this restores your sense of joy and hope. I'm also hearing 5th house. I don't know if some of you here are familiar with your birth chart, or maybe there's a 5th house transit coming up, but look into that if that's something that resonates with you. We also have the golden children, inner child, tenderness, innocence, and rare gifts. So this card reflects your innocence, your tender heart, and your rare gifts. It reminds you that abundance comes when you reconnect with your inner child's magic, right? So your uniqueness is your abundance generator, pile 1, and you don't have to earn it by force. I'm feeling like some of you here could be reminded of some sort of childhood passion, like storytelling or collecting or inventing, and maybe this evolves into a business idea or a creative outlet. Maybe a child in your life mirrors back your gifts, right? Maybe your intuition or your imagination or your kindness, it helps you to see what you've overlooked in yourself. Or maybe some of you here suddenly realize that the very thing that makes you different is your rarest, most marketable strength, right? Your intuition, your empathy, your creativity, your leadership, whatever it is. So let's talk about where it's going to show up in your life, right? Where are these blessings going to pop up in your life? We have the Emperor in reverse here. And so I feel like this is freedom from control, right? From rigidity, from outdated authority structures. And where you once felt boxed in by rules or obligations or someone else's power, there's now space for innovation and independence and flexibility. Right? It's about abundance arriving when you stop forcing yourself into somebody else's mold. Maybe some of you here have a strict boss or authority figure who ends up stepping down, and it gives you more autonomy to do things your way. Right? Like I remember when here's tea, friends. I remember when I used to work for this company, I had this like supervisor that was a total, I don't know how else to put it, a total dick. And he just was like very condescending and like belittling to people. And I just feel like, anyway, when he said he was going to retire, I was more than stoked. So maybe like, you know, maybe some of you guys get an unexpected blessing in that way, right? Or maybe for some of you here, a contract or a job or obligation that felt confining unexpectedly shifts or ends, and this frees up time and energy for your own ventures. Right? Or maybe you let go of perfectionism or rigid self-discipline, and in that relaxed space, more inspiration flows, right? And this leads you to surprising opportunities. We also have Raven news. So symbolically, ravens bring news, right? They bring synchronicity and divine messages. So I feel like this means that abundance could be coming in the form of unexpected communication or a sign that reshapes your path, right? Like I remember when I went to Southern California once on vacation, and this is when I first started my YouTube channel, and I was really like gung-ho about it. I was really excited and I was feeling really inspired, right? Like, you know, when you first get your britches about you and you're new and you're like, I'm gonna kill it, I'm gonna change the game. And I remember on my way back to the airport, I was like so sad, and I was like, you know, just like bummed that my vacation was coming to an end. But I saw a flock of like a ton of crows like flying, and it was like maybe like 4 in the morning or something. And I was like, wow, I've never seen so many crows like all together. And like I was like, what could this mean? And I still to this day just felt like it was a confirmation that like my stoke and my excitement about my channel was meaningful, right? Like that was my body, the universe signaling a message to me to keep going, right? So maybe some of you here get some sort of like unexpected phone call or email offering an opportunity that you weren't actively seeking, right? Like maybe some of you here get a notification that you want a giveaway and you're like, I didn't even remember entering a giveaway. Wow, like great. That actually happened to me the other day. So I'm just saying, when you start to play with miracles and when you start to put it out there that you're open to receiving blessings and miracles and abundance in any way, shape, or form, as long as it's, you know, for your highest and best good, you'd be surprised at the cool things that come through, right? Or maybe some of you here see a synchronicity, like repeatedly seeing a symbol or an animal or a number, and this confirms that you're on the right track and it guides you toward a decision that brings you more prosperity. Or maybe there's some sort of like gossip or whispers or unexpected word of mouth promotion that like leads you to a new client or a job or a chance that you didn't anticipate. So let's talk about why this blessing is arriving now, right? We'll talk about divine timing. We'll talk about lessons completed. We have the 2 of Cups in reverse here. So I feel like you've done the hard work of healing unhealthy patterns in your relationships, right? And so this blessing is coming in for you because you've disentangled yourself from connections that have drained you, right? Both personal and professional. And I feel like what once felt like loss is actually fertile ground for new, more aligned abundance. So maybe for some of you here, after a breakup or a business split or a friendship shift, you now have more space to invite in partnerships that reflect your worth instead of diminishing it. Or maybe you stop saying yes to everybody out of guilt, and this new boundary creates room for more meaningful, supportive exchanges. Or maybe you've healed the wound of needing constant external validation, and now you're open to the abundance that flows from inner alignment. We also have Chiron, heal. So Chiron in astrology is the wounded healer, right? And so I feel like this card is coming up because it's showing you that some sort of cycle of painful growth and self-healing is complete for you, right? So your scars are turning into strengths, and the universe is rewarding you for alchemizing your wounds into wisdom. Maybe some of you here have had childhood wounds around not being seen or valued, and maybe this is transformed into your ability to deeply see and validate others. And now that becomes your gift to attract clients and an audience or a community or whatever it is that you're trying to do. I also feel like you're going to feel a sense of closure around old pain. And this piece is going to make more space for joy and love and financial opportunities to flow. And I feel like your ability to share your healing journey, whether this is through teaching or writing or creating or guiding, it's going to become a magnet for abundance. So next, let's talk about how you can open up to receive this blessing fully. Let's talk about some practical and some spiritual guidance. So we have the King of Swords in reverse here. And so I feel like this is all about like releasing the need to overanalyze or overcontrol or hold yourself to perfectionistic standards. Pile 1, your abundance is going to come through things like intuition, again, creativity, having an emotional openness, and not strict logic. So this is your reminder to not talk yourself out of opportunities just because they don't fit your plan perfectly. And, you know, some real life examples, I'm thinking like, maybe instead of overthinking a creative idea and putting it on the shelf, you actually run with it playfully and it unexpectedly takes off. Or maybe some of you here stop silencing your emotions in favor of being rational, and your vulnerability creates a genuine connection that leads to growth. Or maybe some of you here are releasing the pressure of being the expert and really allowing yourself to experiment, which makes space for more authentic opportunities. We also have sacral chakra. So this one says you are highly sensitive to chemicals, additives, processed foods, and energies right now. Respect your sensitivities by avoiding harsh items, situations, and relationships. I feel like you're, like I keep hearing like you're an angel, or people think like you're very angelic. Palwen. So yeah, this is all about respecting your sensitivities. I don't know if some of you here consider yourselves to be empaths, highly sensitives, right? Intuitives. But this is all about, yeah, respecting those sensitivities physically, emotionally, energetically. Your body and your intuition are being very, like, I keep hearing fine-tuned, like you're fine-tuning it. And I think that the more that you care for your creative center and your boundaries, the more that abundance will flow for you. So maybe you clean up your diet and you reduce processed foods and you notice your creativity and your mood and your magnetism skyrocket. And this draws in new opportunities. Maybe some of you here step back from toxic environments or draining people, and the freed up energy naturally attracts aligned connections. Maybe some of you here embrace your body's rhythms, right? Things like rest, play, pleasure, and this alignment opens you up to fresh inspiration and unexpected blessings. So I want to see if we can get any more info from Raven Spirit. This is the Animal Power book. I'll have this linked for you in the description, but it's basically a book of animals, and it talks about each of its spiritual meanings and like how you can work with that spirit of that animal. So let's see if we have Raven in here. Sometimes this book has very niche. Oh, heck yeah. Okay, so Raven. Okay, divine timing, spiritual law, messenger, shape-shifting, mysticism, and magic, language, intention, and communication. When to work with me: when you want to be a better communicator, when you want to be in sacred alignment with the universe, when you're ready to face darkness so that you can experience light, when you're ready for a shift in consciousness. Energy medicine. My powers are deep and vast. I teach how to enter the void and then bring back the wisdom needed to manifest what you want. I am the master of divine creation. Some may fear my processes because I teach of going into the darkness to free more light. It is this way that you become less afraid of the unknown and more connected to trusting the mysteries of life. While I represent death and rebirth, the process is not to be feared. As one way dissolves, you are then in a new space to have a higher aligned creation come forward. When I call and come to you, I am delivering a specific message. Is this time in your life marking a profound turning point? I bring forward energies of shifts in consciousness, awakenings, and intelligence. When I present, I carry information around magic and deep change occurring in your life. It is time for you to embrace the profound wisdom and gifts that you carry. Call upon me to empower them with you. I don't know if some of you here have been drawn to working with Hecate, the Greek titaness associated with witchcraft, magic, crossroads, the night, and ghosts. She's revered in ancient cults and still holds significance in modern pagan practices. Okay, that's what I found on her. So I don't know if some of you here have been drawn to work with her, but I just kept hearing that name. So yeah, maybe pay attention to like the birds you see in your life as well. Let's also roll some astro dice. Let's find out a little bit more about timing. Let's see. Although I like to say, take this with a grain of salt. When we're trying to divine on timing, I would say keep an open mind, because you have free will, so you can manifest things a lot more quickly, or you can push things out if that's more necessary for you. So just keep that in mind. But we just like to divine, get some info for fun. So let's get some timing. When are these unexpected blessings? When are they coming in? Okay, so we have South Node in the 10th house. Looking at timing through the South Node in your 10th house, like your career, your public life, your reputation, your goals, the South Node isn't usually about new blessings. It's more about release, karmic clearing, and really letting go of what no longer serves you so that the North Node can open doors. So I feel like your blessings show up after you release or shift something that's tied to your 10th house. Right? So for example, maybe blessings come in when you let go of some sort of old career identity or some sort of outdated success model, right? Maybe, for example, if you've been chasing external validation or titles or shoulds, the abundance is going to come when you realign to what feels authentic, right? This tends to happen around eclipses connected to the nodes too. So if the South Node is currently transiting your 10th house, then each eclipse season, which is about every 6 months, brings a push or a release in your career that allows abundance to flow in. So maybe you notice shifts when Saturn or Jupiter or Uranus aspect your 10th house ruler, right? Because those planets often activate career breakthroughs, right? So some possible real life timing signs, I think, could be like when you consciously step back from some sort of draining career path, right? Maybe you leave behind a role that looks successful on paper, but it wasn't aligned, and within weeks or months, some sort of new aligned opportunity flows in. Or maybe, you know, when you stop trying to control your public image and you just let authenticity lead, then blessings show up in the form of collaborations, partnerships, recognition, right? Unexpected career invitations. I also feel like around the next set of eclipses that are hitting your 10th or your 4th house axis, I feel like these maybe could be triggering some fated shifts in career and home. So yes, I feel like overall your unexpected blessings and abundance will arrive in waves that are tied to career release points, right? Especially during eclipse seasons and major 10th house activations, because the more you let go of performing success for others, and the quicker the North Node, which is the opposite, blessings in the form of emotional security and aligned work and abundance. So yes, thank you so much, friends. I hope this reading helped you to feel excited about the surprises and the blessings coming your way. Remember that abundance often arrives when we least expect it. If this reading resonated, let me know in the comments what pile you picked and what came up for you. Remember to like, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs encouragement to follow their true calling. If you want to go deeper, I've got my private readings, my online shop, and my podcast all linked for you below in the description of this video. I am so honored to be connected with each and every one of you friends here. I'm sending you lots of love, Tidal fam. I will see you on the next video. Bye, friends. Love y'all. Hi, Pile 2. Hey, friends. Welcome to your reading. So let's talk about what blessing is coming in unexpectedly. We'll talk about what energy, gift, or shift is coming in and what's arriving for you. So we have the sun here, which is great. I feel like your blessing is going to be joy, clarity, things like success, having abundance. The sun brings the unexpected gift of also being seen, celebrated, and feeling radiant. I feel like something is illuminating for you, Pile 2, bringing warmth and recognition and breakthroughs. Maybe some of you here share a project or a post or an idea, and it suddenly attracts attention or praise or recognition in a way that you didn't expect. Or maybe a season of heaviness lifts and you find yourself genuinely more happy and more energized and more optimistic, which magnetizes abundance. Maybe something that you've been working on in the dark finally comes to light and succeeds. We also have Star Family. You are part of a team of souls, call and support. So I feel like the blessing here is that you're not alone, Pile 2. I think things like unexpected support and partnerships or soul-aligned community are things that are arriving for you. And so I feel like this card signals that abundance is flowing through things like collaboration, things like teamwork, and relationships with people who actually get you. So maybe you cross paths with a mentor or a coach or a collaborator who feels like family and genuinely helps you grow. Or maybe some of you here find a group of like-minded people who seem to show up unexpectedly, maybe online or in person, who offer encouragement and resources or opportunities for you. So next, let's talk about where the unexpected blessing is showing up in your life. We have the Four of Swords here, and so I feel like it's going to show up in your rest, in your healing, and things like downtime. I feel like while you've been resting or recovering or feeling like things were quiet, blessings were actually forming in the background, right? So this is the gift of having that peace after a storm. Like maybe you finally give yourself permission to rest, and during that time, inspiration or unexpected opportunities come in. Or maybe some of you here have been through some sort of health challenge or a stressful situation, you know, starts to resolve and you get some sort of restored stability in some way. Right? Or maybe you take a step back from overworking, and ironically this space brings the clarity and the abundance that you were chasing. We also have sea turtle, stability. So I feel like the blessing here is going to be all about stability, of course, all about wisdom, things like making grounded progress. The sea turtle is a symbol that slow and steady abundance is arriving, and that what you've been building patiently is beginning to pay off. So maybe financial stability arrives after a long period of uncertainty. right? Perhaps a new income stream or some sort of steady opportunity comes your way. Or maybe you realize your persistence, even when progress feels slow, maybe it's laid strong foundations and can now support long-term abundance. Or maybe this is like a calm, steady partnership or community connection, right? And this provides you with some sort of sense of safety and support. So next, let's talk about why this blessing is arriving now. We'll talk about divine timing and any sort of lessons completed. We have the Eight of Swords here. And so pile 2, I feel like you've completed some sort of cycle of feeling trapped by fear or limitation or mental blocks. And so I feel like the blessing is going to come in because you started to realize that the cage was just an illusion. Your perspective has shifted, and I feel like it freed you to move forward. Maybe you've released a belief like, I can't do this, or I'm stuck, and the universe is rewarding that breakthrough with new opportunities. Or maybe after feeling powerless in a job or a relationship or in a situation, you finally see a way out and new doors swing open. Maybe you realize that you don't have to wait for someone else's permission, which really allows you to step into abundance. We also have Taurus. This one says cultivate. So I think that abundance is going to arrive now because you've been learning to cultivate patience and stability and grounded action. Taurus energy reminds us that slow growth is something that creates lasting results. So pile 2, I feel like you've been steadily tending to your goals, very much like nurturing a garden, and now you're beginning to see the first blooms of success, right? Or maybe some sort of new opportunity comes that's not only abundant, but it's also stable and sustainable, unlike past quick wins, right? I just feel like you've embodied some sort of self-worth here, a very Taurus theme, and this is something that magnetizes material blessings like money and comfort and resources. So next, let's talk about how you can open up to the blessings fully. Let's give you some practical and spiritual advice here. So we have the Four of Cups here, and with this, I feel like it's time for you to stay present and open. Don't dismiss opportunities just because they don't look how you expected. I feel like this card comes up when it warns us against things like apathy or distraction or focusing only on what's missing. Maybe your abundance may appear in a form that surprises you, right? So maybe for some of you here, you initially dismiss an offer or an invite or an opportunity because it feels too small or not the right timing, but accepting it reveals hidden blessings. Or maybe you stop scrolling and comparing or zoning out, and instead you notice the universe handing you subtle but very powerful opportunities. Maybe some of you here practice gratitude for what you already have, which clears up space for more abundance to flow in for you. We also have Twin Flame. The answer to your question involves a spiritually based romantic relationship. So this blessing may be connected to some sort of spiritually significant partnership, not necessarily a traditional romance, but it very much could be. But I feel like this is a soul mirror connection that really catalyzes your growth and abundance. And if it is romantic, then I feel like it carries the energy of this very deep spiritual fulfillment. Maybe some of you here have a spiritually aligned romantic relationship that helps you feel supported and loved and safe enough to expand into new abundance. Maybe some of you here meet or deepen a bond with a soul partner who mirrors your growth and inspires new creativity and opportunities and prosperity. Maybe some of you here have a partnership, whether this is romantic or spiritual or collaborative, and it becomes the unexpected channel through which abundance flows. So next I want to get a book divination from our Animal Power book. I'll have this linked for you in the description. But let's find out more information from Sea Turtle. Okay. Turtle. So grounding, protection, ancient wisdom, persistence, presence, faith, abundance, and fertility. When to work with me. When you need to feel protected, when you want to feel more grounded, when you want to connect with earth, when you're ready to tune into ancient wisdom, when you need endurance, when you want to invite abundance and fertility. Energy medicine. Call to me when you need to get grounded, connect with your body more, and connect with Great Mother Earth. I bring forth energies of fertility and abundance and help you remember to enjoy the journey, to be present. Work with me when you want to be recentered in the knowingness that you are exactly where you need to be at this time. Be confident in your path and your timing. One step at a time, one step at a time. That's all you need to get there. Use my shell by envisioning it around you as a protective barrier, shielding you from negativity, jealousy, resentment, or anything lower realm. Work with me when you need an extra dose of persistence and endurance, or a reminder not to be afraid to ask for help. I help you surrender into the deep wisdom that lives within you. Do not fight what is trying to emerge from you at this time. Wow, interesting. Ancient and old. Turtles are ancient species dating back to a time of dinosaurs, more than 200 million years ago. Their lifespan can also be very long. It's believed that some sea turtles may be 400 to 500 years old. All turtles are completely attached to their shells. The shells do not come off, and they grow as the turtles grow. Okay, let's get some astro dice. I want to find out timing. Let's find out some timing. I like to say when we divine on timing not to get tied into any specific date or time, because you do have free will. You can manifest things a lot quicker if you need to, or you can push things out further if necessary, right? But let's roll some astro dice. When are these unexpected blessings coming in for pile 2? Okay, so we have Saturn in the first house. So Saturn in the first house is about self-mastery. It's about identity. It's about things like discipline and maturity. And Saturn as a planet often delays or restricts until you've built the inner strength and the structure needed to carry abundance responsibly. So when blessings come under Saturn's influence, I feel like they usually arrive a little later than expected, but they last longer, right? And maybe they feel like tests or challenges at first, but then they reveal themselves as rewards, right? And it also unfolds in like phases, maybe not so much sudden windfalls. So timing indicators with Saturn's influence here, I feel like maybe your blessings will come during some sort of key Saturn transit. Or maybe another thing to look out for is Saturn's like reward timing, right? Because Saturn tends to deliver blessings after a period of consistent effort, right? So if you've been putting in work around self-mastery, boundaries, and independence, then I think you will receive that reward, right? So I feel like some practical timing cues here to look out for. Look for when like Saturn stations direct, like after a retrograde. These periods can bring through some breakthroughs or some rewards, and also check the new or full moon in your first house sign as well. Look for those transits. So yes, thank you so much, friends. I hope that this reading helped you to get excited about the surprises and the blessings that are coming your way. Remember that abundance often arrives when we least expect it. If this reading resonates with you, let me know in the comments what pile you picked and what came up for you. Remember to like, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs encouragement to follow their true calling. If you want to go deeper, I've got my private readings, my online shop, and my podcast all linked for you below in the description of this video. I'm so honored to be connected with each and every one of you friends here. Lots of love, Tidal fam. I will see you on the next video. Bye, friends. Love y'all. Hey, pile 3. Hi, friends. Welcome to your reading. So let's talk about what blessing is coming in unexpectedly. We'll talk about the energy, the gift, or the shift that's arriving for you. So we have the Lovers here, and with this, I feel like the blessing is all about alignment, love, and choices. The Lovers often brings the blessing of having this heart-centered connection or a decision that really does change everything. And it can mean an actual relationship, or it can symbolize coming into deep harmony with your higher self and your values and your path. So maybe for some of you here, you meet or reconnect with someone who feels like a soulmate or, you know, like a kindred spirit, right? And I feel like this bond opens a new chapter of abundance for you. Maybe some of you here make a decision that's aligned with your values, like leaving a job or starting a new project or committing to a path, and it brings unexpected prosperity, right? Or maybe a fractured relationship heals in a way that really does restore your faith in love and connection and divine timing. We also have cracked open, rock bottom, surrender to the alchemy of life. So pile 3, sometimes abundance arrives through surrender and vulnerability. This card shows that you've been cracked open by things like challenges, and what once felt like rock bottom is actually creating space for more light, more healing, and more blessings to pour in. So for example, maybe some of you here hit burnout and you surrender control, and in that softness, new inspiration and support flow in for you. Or maybe some of you here have a personal or a financial low point that makes you reevaluate your path, but then it leads you to more aligned opportunities, and maybe by dropping the mask of perfection and really allowing yourself to be vulnerable, you attract deeper, truer relationships and abundance. So next, let's talk about where the unexpected blessings are showing up in your life. We have the 7 of Swords in reverse here. And so this is all about the truth coming out. right? Hidden things are going to be revealed, whether this is self-deception or lies or confusion. I just feel like you're going to be led to clarity and freedom. And so I feel like abundance is going to show up where masks are falling away. Like maybe somebody's hidden intentions are going to be exposed and it's going to free you from a situation that wasn't in your best interest. Or maybe you finally stop second guessing yourself or sabotaging your own path, which ends up clearing the way for aligned opportunities. Or maybe some sort of past mistake or secret or unclear situation comes to light in a way that really does set you free and allows healing, right? We also have purpose. This one says shark. So spiritually, the shark is all about focus, all about drive and having this clear purpose. So I'm just thinking about when you have the Lovers and the Seven of Swords reversed, I feel like it shows that you're being guided back to your authentic purpose, right? No more detours, no more distractions, no more illusions. Maybe some of you here finally realize what your next career or creative calling is and you feel motivated to pursue it wholeheartedly. Maybe for some of you here, a false lead or a shiny object falls away, which helps you focus on your true passion or work. Or maybe some of you here have a relationship or a community that aligns you with your purpose by reflecting your gifts back to you. So let's talk about why these blessings are arriving now. We'll talk about divine timing. We'll talk about lessons that have been completed. So we have the Seven of Cups in reverse here. And so I feel like you've moved past illusion, things like confusion, things like fantasy, right? Maybe you once felt overwhelmed with options or you were caught in daydreams, but now you have a lot more clarity and a lot more focus. Maybe this blessing arrives because you're finally ready to choose with certainty. I feel like some of you here are going to stop fantasizing about someday and you're going to take some concrete steps toward your dream career and relationship or lifestyle, or whatever it is that you're working towards. I also feel like for some of you here, maybe a confusing situation is going to suddenly clear up and you're going to see the truth for what it is, which allows you to act decisively. I also feel like some of you here are going to realize which opportunities are real and aligned versus which are just distractions, and this is going to save you a lot of time and energy. We also have Pisces, sensitize. So Pisces energy is all about sensitivity, it's all about intuition, it's all about imagination. So I feel like this blessing is going to come in because you've learned how to handle your sensitivity in a way that makes you stronger rather than overwhelmed. I feel like some of you here, pile 3, I feel like your intuition becomes sharper here and it's going to guide you toward opportunities that you used to overlook. I also feel like you're going to be able to channel your imagination, whether this is through art or writing or visioning, into something tangible that creates abundance. Maybe some of you here are going to learn to trust your spiritual insights rather than brushing them off, and they lead you to real world blessings. So let's talk about how you can open up to receive your blessing fully. We'll give you some practical and spiritual guidance here. We have the Knight of Wands in reverse here, and this is all about you slowing down and channeling your energy wisely, being very intentional, and instead of rushing and burning out and scattering your passion or your focus, really focus that fire on what truly matters, right? Like this card is asking you to receive abundance by grounding your excitement into things like sustainable action. So instead of jumping impulsively from one idea to another, maybe some of you here commit to one path long enough and then you end up seeing results. Or maybe some of you here avoid rushing into relationships or opportunities without discernment and you save your energy for what's aligned. Maybe some of you here redirect fiery, restless energy into a project or a practice that builds lasting abundance. We also have shield yourself, protect yourself from harsh or fear-based energies by envisioning a cocoon of healing light surrounding you. So pile 3, protect your energy. I feel like some of you here could be feeling sensitive right now, and abundance flows best when you shield yourself from negativity, things like fear, things like toxic influences. This card is about energetic hygiene. It's about learning to stay open without being drained. And I feel like when you start envisioning yourself surrounded by protective light before entering stressful environments, you're going to be able to leave with your energy intact. I feel like some of you here are going to be setting firmer boundaries with draining people, and it's going to, again, free up your energy for more creativity, more love, more abundance, right? I also feel like you're going to take practical steps to cleanse your space. Maybe you're going to limit social media, or maybe you're going to avoid gossiping, right? Like maybe you're just going to notice how much more inspiration flows in when you start to detox these things. Let's get some more information from our animal power book. I'll have this linked for you in the description, but let's get more info from Shark Spirit. Okay. So Shark, navigation, clearing, facing fear, rising, balance, heightened senses, elimination, and communication. When to work with me. When you need to navigate your fears, when you're ready to clear negative people or energy, when you want to have better work-life balance, when you want to be in tune with your emotions and communicate in a healthy way, when you want to be a pro at navigating life's journey. Energy medicine. Call upon me to clear negative people or discord from your life. Anything that is bringing bad energy can be cleared from your field with me by your side. My sacred swim demonstrates how to navigate through life with skill and ease. I am a great teacher of being at one with all your earth journeys. I am your drama antidote. Work with me when you're ready to clear drama or any possible addiction you have to it. My medicine reminds you of the importance of providing clear and calm communication, even if it is to alert another that your current state is unfavorable and you need some breath and space. Be honest with yourself if your life is out of balance, especially when it comes to your work. Are your relationships suffering because your commitment to your career or professional pursuits? Call upon me to teach you how to achieve your dreams without doing harm to your personal life. Interesting. So Shark Spirit might be a significant spirit animal totem for you, or an energy that you might want to work with. Let's get some timing on these unexpected blessings. When are they going to come in? With all the other piles, I've said to keep an open mind when we're divining on timing. I wouldn't get tied to any specific date or time because things can change. You have free will. You can make things happen faster, slower, whatever it is that you works best for you, right? So when are these unexpected blessings coming in for pile 3? So we have Moon in the 8th house. So I feel like your blessings are going to come during cycles of release or transformation, or anything that has to do with like shared resources. So maybe timing wise, your blessings are going to come around the new or the full moon, like especially in water signs, things like Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. I also feel like maybe it'll come through during like when the moon transits your 8th house, right? So this happens about 2 to 3 days each month. And then also during eclipse seasons when the moon triggers 8th house themes, right? Like inheritances, debts clearing, new financial opportunities through other people, right? We're actually coming up on a full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces in a couple of days here at the time of this recording. So pretty cool. But yeah, I just feel like these blessings are going to show up around intense moon phases or eclipses and maybe moments of emotional or financial transformation. So yes, thank you so much, friends. I really do hope that this reading helped you feel excited about the surprises and the blessings that are coming your way. Remember that abundance often arrives when we least expect it. If this reading resonated with you, let me know in the comments what pile you picked and what came up for you. Remember to like, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs encouragement to follow their true calling. If you want to go deeper, I've got my private readings, my online shop, and my podcast all linked for you below in the description of this video. I am so honored to be connected with each and every one of you friends here. I'm sending you lots of love, Tidal fam, and I will see you on the next video. Bye, Tidal tribe. Love y'all. Hey, pile 4. Hey, friends. Welcome to your reading. So let's talk about what blessing is coming in for you unexpectedly. We'll talk about what energy, gift, or shift is arriving for you. So we have the Justice card here, and I feel like the gift here is going to be all about balance, fairness, things like karmic rewards, and truth coming to light. I feel like this blessing is about receiving what you're owed, pile 4. Whether this is energetically or financially or emotionally, it brings situations back into alignment. Maybe you've felt unseen or underappreciated or overlooked, and with justice here, this promises that the scales are tipping in your favor, right? So for example, maybe for some of you here, after months of job hunting, you suddenly receive an offer at a company that values your unique skills and they compensate you fairly after years of being underpaid. Or maybe for some of you here, a misunderstanding or a conflict that happened in your personal life clears up and someone admits the truth, and it really does bring a lot more peace. Maybe some of you here have a creative or business project that you poured yourself into and it finally gets that recognition, almost as if the universe is saying your effort was not in vain. Right? We also have forge, don't follow, pave a new path, be the leader you wish you had. So I feel like the gift here is all about innovation, courage, and leadership. Pile 4, you're being blessed with the opportunity to pioneer a new path rather than waiting for permission. This blessing arrives as a nudge from the universe to break out of conformity and to trust your vision. So for example, instead of waiting for an industry leader to give you a chance, maybe you create your own platform or your own project or your own business. Maybe for some of you here, you design your own routines, parenting styles, or spiritual practices rather than copying others. Maybe you realize your different way of doing things is what makes people drawn to you, and you become the role model that you wish you had. So let's talk about where things are showing up for you in your life. We have the 10 of Cups. So let's talk about where these blessings are showing up in your life. We have the 10 of Cups in reverse here. And so this could talk about family, home life, emotional fulfillment. But in reverse, I wonder if some of you here have been going through tension or maybe broken expectations or redefining your happiness. So I feel like this blessing is going to show up through healing what feels incomplete in your family or your emotional life. I feel like you're being guided to create joy and harmony on your own terms, pile 4, not based on society's perfect picture. So maybe you realize that a picture-perfect family setup doesn't always equal happiness, and so you cultivate joy in smaller, more authentic ways. Or maybe for some of you here, distance or tension in family relationships soften as you learn to accept differences and stop chasing unrealistic ideals. Maybe for some of you here, instead of focusing on what's missing, you start seeing the blessing in the connections and the love that is present. We also have Bison ritual. I feel like this is all about sacred routines. It's all about grounding, and it's about respect for tradition. So this blessing is something that's going to stabilize your emotional life by giving you rituals and practices that really do anchor you. I think that this is less about chasing happiness, and it's more about creating a container where joy naturally grows. So for example, maybe some of you here establish a family ritual like weekly game nights or shared meals or outdoor time or walks, right? That really do strengthen your bonds. Or maybe some of you here develop grounding rituals for yourself like morning journaling or prayer or meditation that keeps you centered no matter the chaos that's going on around you. I feel like some of you here could also be reconnecting with ancestral or cultural traditions, right? Finding strength in your roots. So let's talk about why these blessings are arriving now. We'll talk about divine timing and lessons that are completed. So we have the 2 of Wands in reverse here, and this can talk about delays, feeling stuck, maybe a feeling of hesitation or a fear of moving forward. So I feel like this blessing comes because maybe some of you here feel like you've been stalling on your expansion. Maybe you're afraid to choose or to move or commit. So the universe is clearing the fog and it's asking you to stop waiting. Maybe some of you here have been dreaming of moving, right? Moving into your own space, moving into your own house, your own apartment somewhere, moving away from the family home. Maybe some of you here want to start a business. Maybe some of you here want to make a career change, but you're holding back out of fear. And now the opportunity almost forces your hand, but in the best way. Maybe some of you here have been over-researching instead of acting, and now the path opens up and you have to take it. Or maybe some sort of canceled plan or some feeling of rejection or delay reroutes you into something much more aligned and way better and more abundant for you. We also have retrograde review. So this is all about reflection, lessons, rethinking past choices. So the blessing arrives because I feel like you've been through a season of revision, right? Maybe you've been revisiting old wounds or mistakes or decisions, and the cycle is complete, and the universe is saying that you've learned what you've needed, and now it's time to move forward. Maybe like a past relationship or a job or a project that once held you back no longer has power over you. Maybe you've learned the difference between impulsive action versus aligned action, and now you're ready to move wisely. Maybe you realize a failure from the past was actually setting you up for the success that's arriving now. So next, let's talk about how you can open up to receive this fully. Let's talk about practical and spiritual guidance. We have the Magician in reverse here. And this could talk about untapped potential, misuse of power, could talk about self-doubt. So I feel like to receive this blessing, this is all about you like reclaiming your power to manifest, right? This reminds you to not let self-doubt or scattered energy block you, pal 4. You truly do have everything that you need already. And this is your permission slip to stop waiting for external validation, right? You almost have to like big sis yourself and stop comparing yourself to others and begin creating from your authentic vision. I feel like this is you reclaiming authority in your career or maybe even your spiritual path instead of thinking that you're not ready yet. I feel like you're going to start to notice where you've been giving your power away, whether this is to fear or people pleasing or perfectionism, and you're going to call it back. And you're going to love it because you're going to feel so much more revitalized, you know? So we also have workshops and seminars. Attending and giving speeches is part of your spiritual path and purpose. Be open to teaching and learning. So this is all about education. This is all about sharing knowledge, and this is about community learning. I remember I used to get this card a lot when I first started working with this deck. I would be like, what do you mean I should be doing workshops and seminars? I was like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to get up and go, like, I don't want to do that. Now I have very different thoughts. I'd be happy to give a TED Talk to anyone. I have so much information that I'd love to share and circulate and talk about with people, you know? So if anyone wants to collaborate out there, hey, hit me up. I have my email in the description of my channel, if you go to my channel page. But yeah, I would get this card a lot and I'm like, what does this mean? But then I was like, I've been drawn to start a podcast. I made a podcast. I've been drawn to make a YouTube channel and do readings on here. So get it? Like it's maybe not quite literal, but it's like related in that realm. This is you being open to stepping into learning and teaching spaces and really sharing your knowledge while also receiving wisdom from others that will accelerate your growth. So maybe some of you here attend a workshop or a retreat or a class that shifts your perspective and it brings you new opportunities. Maybe some of you here start teaching, whether formally or informally, and you realize how much value that you have to offer. Maybe some of you here meet like-minded people through learning spaces who become allies and collaborators or even family-like support. So let's get some more info from our animal power book. Hopefully we have bison. Sometimes they don't have like very specific animals, but sometimes they do. So let's see if there's a bison in here. Goodness, they have a condor. If they don't have a bison, I'd be like, what? We don't. What's close to a bison? So this one says sacred prayer, earth and spirit unity, direction, abundance, endurance, gratitude, honor, and service. When to work with me. When you need to reconnect with gratitude and abundance, when you're feeling strong and want to support others in need, when you want to be sure you're on the best track, when you want to manifest your highest good. Energy medicine. My medicine is full of gratitude and abundance. Have you been busying yourself with trivial things and forgetting to express reverence for all that you have? I remind you to zoom out and take stock of your blessings. Are you ready for more? Look around at all the gifts that you have in your life, then work with me to open your energetic gateways and invite even more abundance into your life and your experience. Float up to a higher perspective where you can see the miracles of it all, then come back down to earth, embodying that reverent perspective with power and stability. Move from there. I bring miracles, prosperity, and blessings. This is more than possibility. This is reality. I remind you to use your power and abilities to lift up those currently in need. I wonder if like you're going to be finding community too. You know how like buffaloes move in herds together? I wonder if you're going to like have a community where you create movements together. I feel like, yeah, you're going to like revolutionize something. Very cool. Pile 4. Now let's get some more info on timing. I've said this with the other piles. When we divine around timing, I say that to take it with a grain of salt because you have free will. You can manifest things faster. You can push things out further if you need. But we just like to get info to play with it for fun. So when are these unexpected blessings coming in? Okay, we have the moon in the 4th house. So I feel like your blessings tied to abundance are likely to arrive around your home and your family and your emotional security ties, meaning like I wonder if like they'll happen during new moons or full moons, right? Because maybe they'll act as activation points. But I feel like timing leans more towards domestic shifts, right? Things like, again, moving, home upgrades, family support, or when you feel called to maybe nurture your inner child and your inner world. I also feel like the flow is intuitive and cyclical, so maybe blessings will show up in waves, especially within the next like 1 to 2 lunar cycles, right? That's about 4 to 8 weeks. So yes, thank you so much, friends. I really do hope that this reading helped you to feel excited about the surprises and blessings coming your way. Remember that abundance often arrives when we least expect it. If this reading resonated, let me know in the comments what pile you picked and what came up for you. Remember to like, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs encouragement to follow their true calling. If you want to go deeper, I've got my private readings, my online shop, and my podcast all linked for you below in the description of this video. I'm so honored to be connected with each and every one of you friends here. Lots of love, Tidal fam. I will see you on the next video. Bye, friends. Love y'all.